Hello, what's going on? What's happening? Greetings to everybody out there. This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. Peace and power and elevation. Thank you guys who have been tuning in to my channel, watching, supporting the channels, subscribing, sharing the videos, all that great stuff. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. I can't even express to you how much I appreciate that. It really means a whole lot to me. So thank you. And it was unexpected, to be honest with you. I didn't expect to get that many subscribers and that many support. I was just doing videos just to be doing videos because I felt like I just had to get things off my chest, but I didn't think that too many people was gonna come in and subscribe to the channel like this. So thank y'all. So today, I want to get on the subject. And this is my first time ever hearing about this. I never learned this in school. I didn't even learn this in college. And I went to school for sociology. And you would have thought in sociology you'll learn about stuff like this, right? At least I don't recall learning it. So I wonder why this doesn't get talked about very often when it comes to economic inequality. Let me tell you how I got to this subject. So I was reflecting one day on how it's expensive to buy feminine products. Okay, so what I mean by the feminine products mean like personal hygiene, such as pads, and for the women that Dutch, which is like Summer Eve, Vagisil, deodorant, perfume, underclothing, stuff like that. So, but I was thinking about the sanitary napkins, how I would have to go and and buy sanitary napkins for myself, and I'm like, wow, the prices are pretty expensive. And I'm like, yo, why is it that feminine products are always expensive? Every time you go, the prices on the pads or tampon, but in my case, it's pads. So the prices on the pads cost a lot more money. When I mean cost more, it's like it seems like they go up on the prices. Cause like at one point the pads was around like $4.30 or $4.59, somewhere like that. Now when you go buy pads, they're around $5.15, maybe $5.45. And I'm like, but goddamn, why are they going up on pads like this? Why is pads so damn expensive? And then I'll do you another one. So I happened to browse through the internet and come across the YouTube channel about the reviews on this new products of Always. They have a new product called the pad panties. They're pad panties. So pad panties are panties that women will wear for overnight during their cycle, so that way they don't have to worry about any form of discomfort, or they don't have to wake up in the morning and see a red fluid or a red stain on their sheets. Okay, so what women can wear those underwears, and they look like regular underwears. They really do, but on the inside they have the little pad filling in it. Okay, so I said, well, those look very comfortable. And then they have the other kinds that's similar to it, but it's like much more like upgraded kind of. So I said, those look very comfortable. And so I said, let me see how much it is for those type of panties. Man, for three pair of panties, they will cost you around $7.99 just for three pair. So I'm thinking to myself, I said, well, damn, wait a minute. It's only $7.99 for three pair. I said, well, that's pretty expensive. That's close to $8. And then to get more than three pair, you're going to be paying like around around $11 in a pack. I said, well, goddamn, I said these malls is too damn expensive. So one day I posted my thoughts on Facebook, and then a sister came in my comment section and she typed pink tax. I said, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking she was just being funny or whatever, just making a little joke or whatever. And I actually typed it up, and this is an actual thing. Pink tax does actually exist. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. You tell me that it's gonna cost me money to be a woman, so it costs more money as you tell me it's expensive to be a woman in America. That's basically what you're telling me. If that ain't a form of pimping, then I don't know what the hell to tell y'all. So this is one of the reasons why I don't admire capitalism. This is why I don't care too much for capitalism. Capitalism is a form of pimping. And this is economic discrimination against someone based on their gender. Because I should not have to pay more out of pocket for the things that I need as a woman. I shouldn't have to pay more taxes. But I'm going to get into what pink tax is, and then I'm going to continue to give my thoughts and my commentary on all of this, okay? So for those who may not be familiar with it, we're just going to walk through this together. So what is pink tax? Pink tax refers to the tendency for products marketing specifically towards women to be more expensive than those marketed for men. This phenomenon is often attributed to gender-based price discrimination, with the name stemming from the observation that many of the affected products are pink. Now, as you can see, the feminine hygienes, and yes, they are very expensive. When you go buy your shaving cream, when you go buy the razor, when you buy deodorant and pads and tampons, that stuff be expensive. And you can't tell me it ain't, because I know. I go and buy these things, okay? They're not very cheap. And if you're lucky, you can get a discount on them. If you're lucky, if you can find coupons to mark it down the price, you'll be lucky. But outside of that, you ain't gonna find too much discounts on these products. You're not, unless you're gonna go to a dollar store. But the dollar store brand ain't even all of that. So you better off not even getting the brand from the dollar store. But let's go ahead. Now, it goes into the background. It says a 2015 study by the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs on the cost of being a female consumer concluded that women's products are typically more expensive than men's without reasonable cause. It concluded that products marketing specifically towards women cost on average 7% more than products marketed towards men. This discrepancy applies to the apparel, toys, and healthcare products, among other things. In the toy section, girls' toys cost on average 7% more than boy toys. The study showed side-by-side comparison of a radio flyer scooter where the red scooter costs $24.99 and a pink scooter identical in all ways but color costs $49. And children's apparel, girls' clothes were 4% more expensive than boys. Women's clothing was 8% more expensive than men's clothing. The large discrepancy came to personal care hygiene products, where women's products cost 13% more than men's. All right, so now it says international prevalence. Other countries where the pink test has been investigated, including France, Germany, the UK, Australia, and Italy. In the UK, women and girls were being charged on average 37% more for toys, cosmetic, clothes than their male counterparts. In Singapore, a check by the Sunday Times on 10 companies found that women pay more for some products and services, like dry cleaning and razors offered by about half of these companies. Additionally, women in Singapore have to pay more premiums for CareShield Life, a national long-term care insurance scheme introduced by the government. Damn, I feel bad for them women in Singapore. But you know what? We probably paying more in health insurance as women than men. I can guarantee you that. We probably paying more in health insurance. We probably do here in America. I mean, because we got the prenatal care. We got the women clinic that provides services for women. You got gynecologists. You got childbirth, and it's a list of things that goes on and on. Which that's why they be charging more. But even with that, that's still discrimination. And I mean, of course, men ain't got that much going on with their reproductive area like that. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. They don't have as much going on as we do. But let's just continue. Let's continue. Causes. There are many reasons why the pink tax exists, including tariffs, product discrimination, and product differentiation. There are many suggest causes of this discrepancy, including price elasticity and the belief that women are more prepared than men to pay higher prices for their purchases. I don't know why. Let me stop right there. I don't know, because that ain't always true. That's not always true. We not always prepared to pay more money out of pocket for a lot of things. Now, some women are, but most women ain't prepared to be paying more out of pocket. We would rather have something that's more discounted and that's more affordable. But we have no choice but to pay more out of pocket because of the type of system that we live under. And we know that we need these things for our survival. These are part of our necessity. That's why we pay more out of pocket, because it's our necessity. And we need these resources because it's necessary. All right. Other reports suggest that marketing targets women to pay higher prices as ethical consumers. Certain types of clothing, footwear, gloves made for women and men are taxed at different levels when first entering the United States. While some tariffs are higher for men clothing, others are higher for women's. All right, so if you guys want to look more into this, y'all can go on Wikipedia and just look up pink tax. Pink tax does exist. It is real. It exists. Okay. This is not fiction. This is facts. This is not fairy tale. This is real. This ain't something I made up. Okay. And now to back it up, I would suggest people look into Investopedia. Investopedia is another website that a lot of folks should look into. So anytime you want to learn something about the economics, the pricing, etc., go on Investopedia. So Investopedia, pink tax, right? It says researchers in gender inequality often points to what known as the pink tax, a price discrepancy that costs our products and services marketed to women that cost more than identical or nearly identical version marketing to men. So it says about 6 years ago, the issue got a lot of attention when New York City's Department of Consumer Affairs found many instances of gender pricing when it examined 794 products sold in the city for consumers of all age. However, researchers have been noticing and analyzing this phenomenon since at least the 90s. Okay. So it goes on to say, attempts to regulate the pink tax. when a company sells a pink product, the female version, for more than a blue product, the male version, the additional revenue from the pink product does not go to the government. The only beneficiaries of the pink tax are the companies who charge women more than men. Oh, yes, you just heard that. Let's go ahead and highlight this. The only beneficiaries of the pink tax are the companies who charge women more than men. So in other words, they make a hustle off of women more than they make a hustle off of men. So the companies that make products, right, for both sexes, they tend to charge more they charge women more than they charge men. Because they making a lucrative income off of female consumers. So in their mind, they know that they gonna have more female consumers buying their products or whatever. So they're gonna tend to charge more money to them. So in other words, what it's saying is that these companies be pimping the shit out of these women. And these women don't be knowing they getting pimped. They get pimped more than the men are getting pimped. I mean, if you want to get technical about that. You get screwed. So the company is going to screw over the women more than they going to screw over the men because they know that the women going to gravitate more to the products than the men. So they going to screw them over with the prices. They going to cheat the pockets. And I mean, I just had to break it down like that. I had to use technical terminology. All right. So now let's go down to where it says, important, repeal the pink tax is a marketing slogan. Gender-based price discrepancies are not a tax and therefore can't be repealed. So then it goes down to talk about the tampon tax. By contrast, it's an actual sale tax that many states impose on feminine hygiene products, a cost that is largely borne by menstruating girls and women, though also in many cases by their fathers or husband. I don't know. This is a separate issue from the pink tax. And although it's related, we won't be discussing it here. The pink tax also doesn't refer to the cost of items such as lipstick, menstrual products that many women use and pay for throughout their lives, but that most men do not. Several states have passed laws against discriminatory gender-based pricing of products and services. There have also been at least one attempt to pass such a law at the federal level. The goal is to regulate seemingly unjust price discrepancy out of existence. After all, women already earn less income. Why should they also pay more equivalent products and services? And that's a great question. Why should women be paying more money for these resources that they need? Why should we be paying more out of pocket for the resources that we really need, for the most important products? If I had it my way, just give me a moment. All right. So, yeah, as women, we don't really make that much money compared to the men in this country. Why should we be paying more for the products that we need in our own household, right? For personal items, all these different things. Why should we be paying more? And I think that for those women that are getting government assistance, they should not be paying a whole lot of money. They shouldn't even be paying out of pockets. So if they getting government assistance, right, the government should be able to provide some type of voucher for women to be able to buy their feminine products and also to be able to buy products for their children as well. Or at least give some type of discounted voucher where they only pay a small percentage for the feminine products they need, right? Not for the clothing, but for the feminine products and for the baby products as well. That's just my opinion. That's where I stand. Now, everybody else can feel however they want to feel, but I think that women should not be, for women who getting some type of government assistance, especially if they have children, they should get some type of voucher for their products and for the baby products, you know, where they don't have to pay, or they only pay a small percentage of that, those particular items they need. But as you can see, according to this website, again, this is Investopedia. You can look it up. This is Investopedia. All right, then talk about different states. Etc. I ain't gonna go into that. Now it says the United States House of Representatives. Spire, who sponsored the 1995 California Act, also included a pink tax repeal act at the federal level in 2016. The bill has been reintroduced several times but has not passed. Its purpose is to prohibit the pricing of consumer products and services that are substantially similar if such products or services are priced differently based on the gender of the individuals for whose use the products are intended or market, or for whom the services are performed or offered. Companies violating the law would be considered in violation of the Federal Trade Commission unfair or deceptive act or practices rules affecting interstate commerce. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Peace to Bar and Chains. Peace to Brother Vinyasa. Thank y'all for coming through. Well, the bill hasn't been passed and these companies are getting away with it. All right, so, and they also talk about the unequal tariffs on women's goods, right? The real pink tax. Check this out. Most discussion of the pink tax are not about an actual tax, but in one instance, they are import tariffs. In the United States, clothing companies pay higher import tariffs on women items, such as silk shirts, wool jackets, cotton suit jacket, blazer, leather shoes, and golf shoes, according to a study published by the Texas A&M University Marshbatcher Institute, which focuses on trade, economics, and public policy. On the men's apparel side, import tariffs are higher on cotton shirts, wool suits, synthetic fiber suits, and swimwear. Some goods have no gender-based tariff differences, while others have large differences. Overall, tariffs on women items are larger or are higher. All right, now check this out. Oh, we're going to get down to where it says government roles in gender price discrimination. All right, check this out. Government roles in gender price discrimination. Governments can contribute to gender price discrimination through distinct tariff rates on products that are essentially identical in form, save for gender or of their target consumer. Higher import taxes on women's version of goods are in turn passed on to wholesalers. then retailers, and finally imposed upon women consumers. Tim Bass, David Fortunato, Fortunato and Diana Z. O'Brien. Women's descriptive representation and gender import tax discrimination. Oh, it says why the pink tax is not a $1,351 problem. In 1994, analysis conducted for the law that the California Senate eventually passed as the Gender Tax Repeal Act of 1995 stated that women were paying $1,351 more per year for similar products and services compared to men. This 1994 figure is still widely quoted as if it were current. For example, the University of Missouri Kansas City includes the figure in a short write-up on the pink tax or at the pink tax on social media. And it is highly likely that this figure is still accurate and simply adjust for its inflation wouldn't make it accurate either. Changes in product prices based on supply and demand, along with campaigns to neutralize gender discrepancy, have certainly altered the amount since then. It's understandable, though, that no one has an attempt to update the figure, as performing that type of calculation is a big undertaking. Nevertheless, quoting outdated estimates doesn't do women any favor. It sure doesn't. All right, so again, go on Investopedia and look this up. Type this in the session. You will find out this information. And I mean, and there's more. There's more. There's an article. The pink tax, how women pay more for pink. All right, and this comes from bankrate.com. All right, again, it goes into all of this. All right, so and then I have articles, but I ain't gonna go into the articles today. But I got some books for you that you guys can check out. So this book is called Pink Tax and the Law: Discriminate Against Women Consumer by Alara Efson. I don't know how you say this last name, so I'm not even gonna try to say the last name, but the author name is Alara. All right, Pink Tax and the Law. Let's go into the book. So we got the introduction, gender versus sex, understand the term pink tax, the pink tax phenomenon, the pink tax, the Schrodinger cats of tax law, legal analysis of the tampon tax, government intervention, and conclusion. Now let's go to where it says the pink tax phenomenon. Formed by different but equally important layers. It is the end result of the combination of a variety of socioeconomic and psychological trends. To understand what the pink tax really is, one must understand all the different dynamics involved. To, to this end, this chapter begins by making general observation on consumption. All right, so one, these general observations form the rationale behind the shrinking pinking, and women will buy it to a higher price opinion put forward by a number of journalists and politicians. All right, it says when put to a scientific test, however, this opinion is proven to be erroneous. And see, as a matter of fact, the pink test is not a problem caused by women's consumer. Right? Quite the opposite. It is the result of a practice called gender-based pricing put in place by producers and providers of good services. Indeed, Women consumers are suffering from the consequences of this practice that cannot be avoided, even by the most draconian efforts. And E or F, whether this practice should be perpetuated or put to an end is a predominantly political question. And it says, the market, the main channel of consumption. So go down here. It says goods and services can be provisioned by three different means: through the state, such as healthcare and waste collection; two, through the interpersonal network or interpretational, or excuse me, through the interpersonal networks. For instance, friends and family who provide goods and services via informal help and gifts; and through markets. The market is the only channel that enables individuals to acquire the goods and services of their choice whenever they desire and at the location they prefer. The two other channels lack such flexibility in terms of goods and services that may be obtained, which are limited. Timing of acquisition, which is usually not determined on the sole basis of consumer intent, and location of obtainment, which is generally subject to restriction. Consequently, to acquire the majority of goods and services, individuals must have recourse to the market. It is therefore undisputable that the market constitutes by far the most frequently used channel by consumers. All right, then it goes down to talk about two, the predominant view individual are free, just as markets should be. Right, it says the dominant school of economics, the neoclassical school, views individual as selfish, rational, and well-informed beings. Consumers are assumed to make only the consumption choice that will maximize their own or at most their family members' welfare. Individuals are also considered to make exclusively rational choices, enabling them to achieve a given goal in the most cost-effective manner. This hyper rationality entails that the consumers are market mavens. They are extremely well informed on the variety of products and services offered in the market as well as their prices. The human being is thus perceived as a machine devoted to the maximization of pleasure, utility, and the minimization of pain. And then here it is. A3, self-control problem, endless appeal of insight in mind and right here, right now. One of the flaws of the dominant economic theory is an overstimulation of human qualities. No individual can demonstrate the Olympian rationality pursued by the dominant approach. Quite the opposite. Research proves that human beings possesses only bound rationality. The available studies on the matter firmly establish that individuals are prone to a long list of biases and fallacies, such as the sunk cost fallacy, the endowment effect, and loss aversion. Far from being the machine suggested by the predominant view, humans operate with an intuitive and heuristic system of thinking, which often results in poor logical analysis. On top of this logical reasoning problem, individuals deal with a more serious issues on a daily basis: self-control. So actually get into understanding about the economic system and gender-based pricing and discrimination. All right. So let me just go ahead and talk before I close it out. And again, peace to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody that's coming through. Let me say this. I gotta fix myself up. Hold on, y'all. Gotta make sure it's on point. Okay. So let's just say this. They assume, most companies assume that the biggest consumer are women. And what they do in order to get the profit is appeal to the emotion of women. Because as women, they know that we love things that have some form of beauty in them, that has some form of appearance that make us feel, oh my goodness, Wow. So they appeal to our emotions because they know that we will become attracted to things that have some form of that has some form of it has some form of beauty. Something that makes us feel like we have to get the product or whatever the case may be. So that's what they do. They know how to appeal to our thoughts. They know how to appeal to our vision. They know how to appeal to our feelings. That's what these manufacturing company does the best. And when they know that it's very appealing to us, they assume that we are willing to pay more money for it. So this is how they pimp the shit out of you. Okay, ladies, you getting pimped. I mean, everybody gets pimped, but in this case, women are more likely to get pimped out their own pockets than the men. So when these companies, right, it's not so much of the government being involved in it. The government is involved when it comes to the tariffs, which is nothing more than the import taxes and export taxes. So when the products that's being imported in, they put a tax on it. When the products been going out, they put a tax on it. Okay, so the government benefit from that part of the taxes, but the company is benefiting the most money when the prices are higher based on gender. So that's for the company's sake. The companies are the ones that are making the most money. So in other words, the companies are the ones that's pimping the most consumers than the government. The government is only getting their tax percentage for the products to be imported into the states, right? But the company is making more money because of the fact that the consumers are paying more or paying a higher price on the products or the item. And in this case, as women, we getting pimped. We getting pimped for a lot of shit. We're used as a commodity. We already being used as commodities for a lot of things, right? For commercial advertisement. You can't have you noticed that a lot of companies cannot sell their products without having women on there marketing for them, especially those who dress half naked, especially if it's a beer product. A lot of these beer companies would not be successful at selling, at um, making revenues if it wasn't for the women advertisement. Because it's the women that advertise for them. And if they have such a body or they look a certain way, that's going to bring more marketing. It's going to bring more consumers. So with that being said, you're always used as a commodity as a woman. Now, when you buy the things that you need as a woman, especially when it comes to your personal items, you getting taxed out of pocket. You getting pimped out your own pocket for that. Again, the government, if they're going to provide assistance, such as food stamps, right? And such as WIC products, right, for the babies, they should provide vouchers for women to have personal items and items for the babies as well. So that way they won't have to pay. They will either pay a small percentage of what the item is worth, or they won't have to pay anything at all. So I think that that's a fair share. I think that is really fair. And, it's already bad enough with insurance. I wonder if there's a pink test on medical insurance, because did you know that women, after they have babies, once they deliver their children, that they have to pay just to hold their own child? So if you giving birth to a child, right, and the doctor comes back and hand the child over to you, you know that costs money, right? It costs you money just to hold your own child. Yeah. It already costs you to go through the delivering process. And then that ain't cheap. That's why a lot of women turn to doulas, because doulas are much cheaper to have than to go to the hospital and sit in labor to have the childbirth process taking place. And then it's a lot cheaper than having a midwife, right? Oh, and then for those of you that don't know, no, the government do not provide midwives for women. Sorry. So just because you might get vouchers and all that, you might get government assistance. Guess what? You won't get no midwife. You won't get no free midwife because the government does not provide for that. And I think that the government should provide that too. They should provide for a free midwife for those women who are expecting to have children. They should be able to have midwives, as far as part of their government assistance until they able to go back to work. They should have some type of assistance right after they have children for at least 2 or 3 months until they're ready to work. Okay? And I feel really bad because many women can't afford to even go on maternity leave. Many women cannot afford that because, for one, most jobs don't even provide maternity leave. Certain jobs don't even provide that. And when they do provide it, that is not for long. It's not for long. So that means that you can't stay gone for too long because then otherwise the money going to run out and how you going to take care of your kids. So now you got to go back to work immediately. And see, this is why I don't like capitalism. Because in any other country, women would not have to go through this. I mean, yeah, they may have to go through some form of discrimination, but not on this level. They wouldn't have to worry about not having a midwife with them 24/7. Or they wouldn't have to worry about stressing about who's going to babysit their kids while they going to work. Because that costs child daycare, that costs money too. That's another thing that is going to hustle a woman out of her own pocket is the child daycare. Because now you got to figure out, well, where can I go and have somebody to babysit my kids while I'm at work or doing whatever I got to do? I mean, yeah, you can talk to your family members, but family members ain't going to always want to babysit every day 24/7 or 5 days out the week. So now you got to take your kids to the daycare center and then you got overnight 24-hour daycare with the 24-hour daycare, you got to pay a lot of money for that. That costs. So anybody that sit here and think that there's no gender discrimination, there's no sexism and none of that shit, you have not been studying the history about this United States government. The United States government was built off the concept of not only white supremacy, but patriarchal ideology. I hate to say it. It's white patriarchal system. We're still under a white patriarchal system. Now we're in a day and time where people get opportunity to get into leadership, but the ideology, listen to me very carefully, the ideology is still there. The ideology is still there. I'm about to step away because I want to show a book to you guys real fast. I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. I'm gonna get to the comments, but I want to show you guys a book. And this book, it relates to the topic, but it's not really on the topic. It's more so about black women, right? This book right here, if you guys never read this book before, you need to pick this book up. It's called The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Women by Michael Porter. The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Women by Michael Porter. All right. This is a book right here that we need to read. So it kind of relates to the topic in a sense as far as gender bias and discrimination is concerned. But we just have to be technical about this. See, we can overlook this and we can pretend like it don't exist. But anytime women bring up the issues about this, then it seems like we being looked at as being problematic or it's an issue, and we just want some attention. No, this is real. This is not about having attention. This is not about just trying to be discriminated or trying to put ourselves on a pedestal. We're just looking at the problem that's affecting us. And when you see this is why women go out and do the things they do and act the way they do, because they know that it's expensive to be a woman. That basically, this is what the government tell you, that it's expensive for you to be a woman in this country. You cost too much money. You cost too much. It's very expensive. So if you really want all these things, you're going to have to work for it. That's basically what they're saying to you. You want it all. Okay, you want your feminine products, you got to work for that. You got to be willing to pay more money. If you can't pay more money, then guess what? You're not going to be able to get that product. And that's really fucked up. It's a fucked up thing. But this is how the system is being played. This is pimping in disguise. I'm going to say it again. This is pimping in disguise. This is pimping under economics. I said it before, and I'm going to say it time and time again. This government is built off the concept of pimpology. It was built on the concept of violence, thugs, gangsters, all of that. So you got the gangster, thugs, and pimps under capitalism. So when you hear capitalism, think of gangsters, think of thugs, and think of pimps, and think of the hoes, and think of the Johns and the Janes or the Tricks. That's how this government system is built. And you know, it's a hurtful thing as a woman that you have to really go through this. I mean, it's hurtful as a human being. No human being should have to be paying more than any other human being, right? But especially as a woman, it's very hurtful. And then you want to know why women have the attitude they have today. You want to know why women act the way they do today. Okay? And I think that this issue right here, the pink tax, this need to be addressed. This need to be part of the conversation. Because it's not fair. It's not fair at all. All right, so let me go ahead and read into the comments. Yeah, Greg. I mean, hey. Yeah, going back to what I was saying about the midwives. Yeah, you don't get no midwives here in the country. Like, the government ain't finna provide you with no midwife. The government is not finna provide you with no damn midwife. If you looking for a midwife, you gotta come out your own expenses for that. That's why you gotta get a doula, and you just better hope that the doula will be reasonable at their pricing. But again, most women can't afford that either. Most women can't afford to have doulas. So they have to go to the hospitals with their insurance. And they got to go to the hospital that's affordable to them. Yeah, but women don't get no midwife here in America. No, ain't no midwives finna come to your house. The government is not finna provide for you like that. The government don't care that much about you to provide no damn midwife to your damn house. So after you have kids, you don't get no break. The nine time out of 10, the kids gonna be with their mother. The children's gonna be with the woman. So the woman don't really get no break after having children. After she giving birth, no, you don't get no break. And then on top of that, you guys suffering from postpartum syndrome, which is like a form of mental illness, and you gotta get psychological help for that. That basically that comes from a lot of mental pressure from giving birth to kids, and now you got to provide for them, and you got to make sure you provide all the resources and all that. That's just a lot of mental pressure. That's all postpartum syndrome is. It's just the mental pressure that a woman is going through, that she faces after her first few months of giving birth. And again, you don't get no free resources for that. You ain't gonna get no therapist coming to your house and checking on you. Nope, you're not gonna get that. You gotta go to a therapist. You gotta find a therapist. All right, so Beyonce put on top of the autism that has been one of the biggest obstacles I face as a single parent. And I really feel bad. I really feel bad, with parents that have children that has autism. I knew, as a matter of fact, I knew somebody that I was working with. She has two boys that has autism. Two boys that got autism. That's a struggle as a parent because you have to have kids who have autism. You have to give them special attention. You have to really give them special attention. They need, and then you have to make sure they get all the care they can get because they don't function on the same level as average children would function. So they really got to have special needs. And I mean, I can only imagine that's being rough. Just to sign them up for daycare, here is $1,000 per week per child, and that is if they accept autistic children. And doesn't matter if they went for 10 minutes a week, they still demand. You see, that's capitalism. That's capitalism for you. That's capitalism. Not to bring Mel into it, just saying, and yes, there are mountains of biases that single fathers go through in many aspects of this conversation. One day we can have a bill on that, you know what I'm saying? We can have a bill on what single fathers deal with and what they go through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can have a conversation about that because I would like to talk about single fathers one day, and I would like to be able to get their account and point of view of what they have to face and what they have to go through. But I'm not to discredit and I'm not to like throwing shade or anything like that. I'm not saying that single fathers don't exist because they do, but you just have a lot more single mothers out here. And by there being a lot more single mothers, you don't see too many single fathers. You don't see too many single fathers in the child's life. You're not going to really see that. It's very rare that you're going to come across men who are single parents. It's very rare. It's a very rare case. And I hate to say this, but most men, I'm just going to keep it one. I'm going to keep it above. Most men are not willing to be single parents. Most men don't want to take on that responsibility as being a single father. They either want to be in a relationship where they can be with the mother, or if they're not in a relationship with the mother, then they don't want to take on that responsibility as a single parent. They going to get that responsibility over to the woman while they try to move on with their lives. And I mean, that's another conversation we got to have. And we have to be honest about that. Most men will not take on that responsibility of becoming a single father. Most of them don't. They don't want to take that responsibility because now it feel like it's taking away their freedom and their time to go out and do what they want to do. I mean, so it's very rare that you see men who are single parents taking care of their children. It's very rare. But for the most part, men them are not trying to be no single father. Men them don't want that responsibility. For anything, they want to be able to spend some weekends with their kids, have their kids come around, and then send them back to their mama. Again, spend some weekend with their kids, have their kids come around for a couple of days for like a little, occasion, such as a holiday occasion, such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Father's Day, something like that. That's the only time, like, as far as like if the parents are not together, and if the parents are not together, the father would want their kids to come around for a holiday occasion or for the weekends. But overall, to be a single parent, most of them ain't trying to do that. Most of them ain't trying to be no single parent. Most of them are not trying to take on that responsibility. They rather leave that responsibility over to the woman and let the woman take care of that. And that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's fucked up because at the end of the day, both kids need both of their parents. It's not fair that one parent have to really do most of the work and the other parent do less of the work. It's not fair. It's not fair and it's not right at all. It takes both parents to raise a child. It takes both parents to take on that type of responsibility. It takes both parents to provide financial resources. It takes both parents to take care of a kid or children because both of y'all had the kids together. Not one parent just it doesn't the not one parent just giving one DNA to the child. Both of y'all DNA is combined together. Both of y'all got 23 chromosome, okay? Both of your kids, your kids come from both of you. So it's not right that one parent has to do more work than the other parent. It's not fair. And that's sad. That's really a fucked up ass way of thinking. And you can't tell me that there's no men out here that's not like that because I know. I done seen it for myself. I done seen it that men want to come around when it comes to family occasion, meaning when it comes to holiday occasion, or when it comes to the weekends, or even the summer. That's the only time they want to spend time with their children. Other than that, they don't want to be no single parent. You're not going to find too many men that want to do that. So the responsibility is pretty much left up to the woman, and she got to carry that burden most of the time. That's a conversation that many of us don't want to have. We don't want to have that conversation. We don't want to talk about that. They sure ain't. Most in general are not going to give up personal freedom, let alone the ability to. What you say? They sure ain't. Most people in general are not going to give up personal freedom, let alone ability to work. Nobody is going to put the child before their bank account here. Hell no. Hell no. And all the men on my bloodline call me dumb for taking on this challenge and how I should turn my back and just make money instead. Do you see? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Let me wait. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. Wait a minute. Then y'all should put all the men of my bloodline call me dumb for taking on this challenge and how I should turn my back and just make money instead. Do you see his mentality? And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, Vinyasa. I'm sorry that you have to go through this, and this is what you have to encounter with the men in your family. But the men in your family, no disrespect to you, I'm sorry to say this, just hear me out, okay? I don't mean no disrespect. But the men in your family are fucked up. They are some fucked up ass people. They fucked up for telling you that. They sick as hell for telling you some shit like that. They telling you to turn your back on taking care of your responsibility as a father, making sure that your kids are taken care of, making sure that you take them into your custody and raise them. They sick as hell for that. They are fucking sick. I'm sorry. And I don't mean no disrespect to you, but that's sick as hell. If anybody tells you that, this is very misleading. You should never tell a man, especially a man who is a father, who trying to raise his children, that he need to turn his back on that responsibility and just go out here and make money. That's fucked up because we don't know the circumstances of the mother. The mother could have been sick. The mother could have been dead. The mother could have been in prison. The mother could have been out there in the streets or whatever. And you telling this man to turn his back on taking care of his responsibility as a father. That's some motherfucking sick ass shit. That's sick as fuck. That's some real fucked up ass shit, man. And if I was you, I would dissociate myself from them. I wouldn't even be around them. I wouldn't even call them. I wouldn't even reach out to them. I wouldn't even want to have anything to do with them. That's sick. We'll work for pay. That's it. Parenting is actually a job that requires nonstop work, but there's no pay for it. There you go. You said it right there. Parenting is a job. It's a job. You don't get compensated for it. You don't get no type of benefits. It's a job. It's a job that requires attention. It's a job that you have to do nonstop. You don't get paid to be no parent. Yeah, you don't get paid to be no parent. You don't get paid to be a father. You don't get paid to be a mother. That comes with the territory, okay? And what I can't stand the most, I can't stand when people say shit like this. Children are very expensive. No, they're not. Children are not expensive. Children are not expensive, okay? It's the government that's making it expensive. It's the government that's making it harder for you guys. It's the companies that's manufacturing these products that's making it harder for y'all. Okay, it's not children. Children are here for a reason. All right, as human, we're here to procreate. We're here to continue to have a population. If we stop procreating, then we will not have enough products and all the resources that we got today if there's not enough human population. Stop sitting up here saying that children are expensive as if children are causing you a burden. It's not the children's fault, okay? Children are here. That's what you do as a parent. You have to make a sacrifice. You got to make a sacrifice. You got to put work. You got to put into effort of taking care of your family and provide for your family. That's what you damn do. That's what you got to do as a parent. You don't get to just sit here and think because you have kids, it's supposed to just be 100% easy. It's not. It's not going to be easy at all. That's not how it works in the world. You sacrifice yourself. You sacrifice your time for your kids. You make a way for them. That's what you do as a parent. So stop sitting up here and bitching and complaining, talking about kids are too damn expensive. Kids are not fucking expensive. It's your government system that you need to tackle, not the damn kids. You need to tackle the government system for the resources, for the inadequate resources that you don't have, for the taxes that you're paying for your children. That's who you tackle, not the damn kids. And I can't stand that shit. Like, real talk, I can't stand that. That shit right there made me mad. It makes me mad, and it makes me want to cut somebody out when they say shit like this. It makes me want to just knock some sense to their head. Like, do you think that a child just asked to be here? No, the child just exists. Okay, the child gotta live just like you gotta fucking live. What the fuck you talking about? You just gotta be able to provide a way for them. Even the women, they said let them get abused until the kids themselves left the abuse, and how I should just get money. What kind of shit? Vinyasa, what kind of family members do you have? What's wrong with your... Shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me stop there. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. This is a sick mentality. I'm sorry. This is sick mentality. They literally just said that let them get abused until the kids themselves left the abuse, and how I should just get money. What kind of sick ass shit is that? What is wrong with our people in that mentality they have? What type of person in their right mind would say some shit like that? It seems like as if they don't want you becoming a better parent. If they don't want you becoming a father, they just want you to just get your money and just go on with your life and forget about the kids. That's really fucked up. They're not encouraging you. So I commend you as a man that you are, for making sure you step up to the plate and take care of your responsibility, despite what your family member has to say about this. I commend you for it. I really do. I commend you. And I hate to hear that you had to listen to the naysayers out there, especially your loved ones, because you thought your family would have your support. You thought your family will be your biggest support system and will be there to help you out when you need it. But they sit up here telling you some bullshit like this. They misleading you. They fucking you up. But it's a good thing that you stepped up as a father and handled your business and take care of your business and did what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how your mama, your daddy, your relatives, all the people in your family felt, you did what you had to do. All right, but her daughter, my aunt, had Down syndrome. She knows my struggles. Although she had family support and medical help for my aunt, those things I simply don't get. Wow. True, my grandmother stood by me, but one passed away. and the other only can offer moral support, aka prayers. Wow, I mean, usually the grandmothers step in and do whatever she can. A lot of times that's how it is. The grandparents step in and they try to help out as much as possible. Um, at least you got some form of support system. You really do. Not even babysitting via the family. Outside my godson, he would help watch them, but even has to go make money, etc. And no kids aren't that expensive. But the system is beyond too expensive for it. Exactly. It's the system. Because the system is too busy pimping the shit out of us. The system is too busy pimping our pockets every fucking day. And now they got you thinking that your child is expensive. They got you thinking that your gender is what makes you expensive, but it's the system that's pimping your pocket. It's these companies, the manufacturers, that's pimping your pockets. But then we got, you know what? And I'm just gonna put this on the table. I'm not gonna shut my mouth. I am, because I'm finna put this on the table. I'm sorry, while I'm on this subject about taxes and capitalism. But before I do that, let me read some comments on my phone. All right, but anyways, now I'm gonna get it off my chest because since I'm on this topic, I'm gonna get off my chest. But we got motherfuckers, a motherfucker who especially supposed to be a so-called conscious individual, right? That come out their own motherfucking mouth saying some dumb shit or saying shit like the system works for us. I love this system. The system works for us. How does the system work for you? In what ways? Now, there might be some benefits to the system, but overall, the system don't work for you. The question goes back to what I was stating with Brother Consul when he got on there with Les Vortex talking about capitalism, right? And how capitalism work for us and how we in the mixed economy. No, the hell we ain't. We ain't in no mixed economy. We in a fucking capitalistic country. We never been in no mixed economy, okay? The United States was never built on the concept of mixed economy. It was built on the concept of capitalism, and that's the economic system that we in. Now, is there some form of incorporation of other ideology? Maybe. But for the most part, the foundation of this system is capitalism. And then when you say that, people want to look at you crazy and say, oh, capitalism is not that bad. It's actually a great system. What you mean it's not that bad? How you gonna say that it's not that bad? Tell that to the person that's been living in the hood, growing up in the hood almost their whole entire life. Tell them that the capitalism is not that bad. If capitalism was not that bad, we wouldn't have to be paying so much in gas. If capitalism was not so bad, we wouldn't be paying no pink taxes. But you got individuals talking about capitalism work is a good economy and it has done so much for us, etc., etc. What kind of shit is that? And then I'm baffled by this, and I'm gonna call Consul out on this because I gotta call him out. This man told me that he can get rid of a middle class if people just sign up for his program, for his financial classes in order to do so. This man said out his own mouth, well, not out his own mouth, but he typed in the chat as he was going back and forth with Les Vortex. He said that he can get rid of the middle class if more people would just sign up to his classes, his financial class, his financial group, and learn how to do so. You cannot get rid. First of all, it don't matter how many people sign up to your financial class. You're not getting rid of no fucking middle class. You're not gonna get rid of that because that means that the economic system has to change. The government system has to change. Ain't no government system, ain't no middle class gonna change by individuals signing up to no motherfucking financial classes and learn about the financial system, etc. It's not gonna get rid of no middle class. You're not getting rid of no middle class like that because for one, everybody's not gonna sign to your goddamn class. That's for one. And then for two, that's not gonna benefit everyone. So that's very fallacious to believe or to think that if people sign up for your damn financial class, that you're going to get rid of a middle class. You're not going to do that. It doesn't work that way. It don't matter. Everybody else been saying the same thing that you've been saying. And it doesn't work that way. That's why we got to be careful to these so-called financial gurus out here. We got to be careful with them because they're not telling you the whole truth. They're not giving you the breakdown of everything. They give you enough just to get you into their classes so that way they can make lucrative income off of you. And that's all it is. They're not telling you the whole thing. They're not giving you the whole breakdown. They're not giving you the reality. They're not giving you the reality. Ain't nobody finna sign up for your class and then your class costs about $600, $500, $400, and you talking about some getting rid of a middle class, get rid of a middle class community. You're not gonna do it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't go down like that. That's to me, that's some con artist shit. That is some con artist ass shit. I thought that shit was funny when I heard him say that. When he said that, when he put it in the comment section, I thought that shit was funny. Are you serious? You tell me that if you get more and more people sign up for your class and take your courses and all that shit, that you gonna help get rid of the middle class community. You ain't finna get rid of no middle class community for anything. You finna capitalize. That's what you gonna do. You gonna capitalize. You finna capitalize. I replied, nobody waits to call the fire department if their house was on fire. So why should I let my children burn without trying to save as much as their innocence as possible? You know, sometimes at some point in time, your family is not always your family. Just because they're your blood does not mean they're your family. I'm going to say that again. Your family is not always your family. Just because they're your blood does not mean that they are your family. So your best bet is to just do what you have to do as a father and keep your distance from those individuals as much as possible. Just keep your distance from them. Because it shows that they do not have your best interest and they do not care. This statement alone proves capitalism is a problem. It takes money to make money, implying if you don't have, you can't make it. And it does. I mean, in the capitalistic system, it takes money to make money. It really does. And when you ain't got no money, then guess what? You're going to turn into the life of crime. You're going to turn into the life of violence. This government created a bunch of fuck niggas and fuck bitches. Let me just put it like that. This government, this system that we live in has created a bunch of raggedy ass motherfuckers, discombobulated ass people, con artist people, fuck niggas, fuck bitches, crackheads, drug dealers, etc. This government has created that. This government has created people like that. It created competition. But then you expect, but the same system that has created this competition want people to stop being violent and want to bring about gun control. You created it. Now it done got out of proportion. I mean, what can't you do? You can't stop people from bringing guns. You can't stop people from getting access to weapons. You want to change the gun laws to the age of 21, but you think that somebody at 21 ain't going to buy no guns for somebody that's 18, 19 years old? You think that 18, 19 years old is not going to get access to guns? You think that the people on the street is going to stop selling weapons on the street? Hell no. A lot of stuff that we do, everything that we do as people is a learned behavior. Every single thing that we do as humans is a learned behavior. We learn from each other. We learn from each other. And when we learn from each other, right, we carry on and we add on to those ideas that we learn and we pass it to the next generation, and that generation passes down to the next generation, then et cetera, et cetera. It's all learned behavior. Again, if we're going to deal with the so-called knowledge, right, we got to deal with psychology first. That's the first thing we must study is psychology. If you're going to get into the concept of dealing with knowledge yourself, we got to deal with psychology first. We got to deal with behavioral psychology. We got to deal with cognitive psychology, analytical psychology. We got to deal with psychology, sociology, anthropology. We must study all these things to understand how it affects us politically and economically. How do you think that these companies become so successful at marketing their products? Because they study psychology of the individuals. You can't, if you don't study psychology, you will never be able to understand how the economic system works. You will never be able to understand how the political system works. You must study psychology. I don't know how much I can stress it. Study psychology. Because once you study psychology, then you get into understanding more about the political system and economic system. I'm trying to see if there's some more comments on in the chat from my phone. Oh. Well, I guess not. Because sometimes I can't see the comments on the computer, so I have to go to my mobile device and see if there's any comments left. But that's all I have. That's all I have to say for today about this topic. That's enough on this subject. And I appreciate you guys for coming through, listening, and sharing your stories. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Brother Vinyasa. Thank you for coming through, for really just opening up and just talking about what you have to deal with on a consistent basis as a parent and just as a person who's just trying to work and survive. I think this was a great dialogue. And hopefully I can get you and some more people on here one day that we all can have conversations in around single fatherhood and things of that nature. Yeah, so shout out to Brother Greg, shout out to Bars and Chains, and shout out to everybody else that's shout out to everybody else that's been watching this video. So I thank you guys for your support, and shout out to all my new subscribers out there. All right, so let's keep those subscriptions going up. So if you guys really want to share this video, you're more than welcome to do so. If you like the channel, go ahead and share the channel. And that's it. So y'all learned something new. For those of you that did not know that pink tax exists, it does exist, okay? So you guys learned something new. You guys can look up more information and you'll find out more information about it, okay? Okay, all right, so well, you can reach out to me on Clubhouse. I do have a Clubhouse and I have Instagram. So I'm on Instagram. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, you can do that. You can reach out to me on Clubhouse, and I'm gonna get my Twitter page back up. So yeah, so you can reach out. But until then, just reach out to me on Clubhouse and Instagram. Cause every now and then I go in Clubhouse and check out what everybody's talking about and stuff like that. So all right then. But and thank you, Vinyasa. Thank you so much. All right, so you guys have a good one. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay hydrated, and stay cool. You know what I'm saying? It's hot everywhere. So yeah, you should be able to find me. You'll see me. Just type in my name. As a matter of fact, I'll type it in the comment section. All right, so that's my Clubhouse information for any of you that's on Clubhouse and you want to follow me on Clubhouse. That's my information right there. But make sure you guys stay hydrated and please be careful, be safe out here. And I will talk to you guys later. And so I'm gonna get into like other miscellaneous topics. Okay. But until then, be safe. Peace and power, elevation be to all of you. And it's your girl Tiffany, and I'm logging off saying deuces. Thank y'all so much. All right. All right then.